Most people avoid the truth, not because they're evil, but because they're afraid. Afraid to hurt others, afraid to face consequences, afraid to stand alone. But Buddha laid down a warrior's rule. Speak the truth, even when it hurts. Because truth isn't just a moral choice. It's a path to inner liberation. In this episode, we uncover why Buddha placed truth above comfort, and how speaking it can set your soul free. Let's begin. Number 1. 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Some things in life are simply too powerful to stay hidden. You can cover the sun with clouds, but it still shines. You can block the moon behind mountains, but it still rises. And the truth, no matter how deeply buried, distorted, or denied, always finds a way to reveal itself. That's the message behind this quote. The Buddha reminds us that truth is not something you create, it's something you uncover. And the more we try to hide from it, the more it shows up. In our emotions, in our relationships, in the quiet moments when no one's watching. Let me share a story that reflects this idea. There's an old tale about a man who stole gold from a neighbor but swore he was innocent. He denied it to the village, to his family, even to himself. But over time, the guilt began to show. He avoided people. He grew paranoid. His health declined. Eventually, he returned the gold and confessed. When asked why he finally told the truth, he said, "Because even when no one else could see it, the truth kept burning inside me." That's what happens when we try to bury the truth. It doesn't disappear, it becomes weight, tension, anxiety. Because the truth isn't just a fact, it's a force, and it demands to be seen. Now let's bring that to today. In the modern world, we hide in different ways. We hide how we really feel. We smile when we're breaking inside. We pretend everything's fine while carrying pain, shame, or secrets we think no one could understand. But the longer we hide the truth, especially from ourselves, the more it eats at us. And ironically, it's in facing the truth that we finally find freedom. Let me give you 5 practical tips to start living more in alignment with your truth. Practice radical honesty with yourself. Ask, where in my life am I pretending? It could be a relationship that no longer fits, a job that drains your soul, a habit that you know is holding you back. Write it down. Be honest. The truth might hurt, but it also heals. Speak the truth even when your voice shakes. You don't need to be harsh. You don't need to confront people with anger. But you do need to express what's real. Start small. Share something you've been holding in with someone safe. Each time you do, you reclaim your power. Let go of the fear of being exposed. Most people hide their truth because they're afraid of judgment. But the right people will respect your honesty, not reject it. And here's the secret. When you live openly, nothing can be used against you. You become untouchable. Create space for the truth to rise. Silence invites clarity. Spend quiet time each day away from distractions, and just listen to what your inner voice is saying. Meditation, journaling, walking in nature. These aren't just practices, they're portals to truth. Align your actions with what you know deep down. Once you see the truth, don't ignore it. If your heart is whispering, "This isn't right," trust that. If a dream keeps pulling at you, honor it. Because peace doesn't come from avoiding truth, it comes from living it. And remember, the sun will rise, the moon will shine, and no matter how dark the night may seem, the truth always finds its way. Okay, let's summarize. The Buddha didn't leave behind empires, weapons, or wealth. He left behind wisdom, deep, timeless truths that still echo through the noise of the modern world. We've explored 5 of his most powerful teachings: that peace begins within, that thoughts shape your reality, that anger only hurts the one who holds it, that truth, no matter how deeply buried, always rises. But the real question now is, which one of these teachings are you ready to live? Not just admire and not just understand, but practice every single day. Because wisdom means nothing without action, and transformation begins the moment you apply what you know. Number 2. It is better to conquer yourself than to win 1,000 battles. Victory in the world can make you famous, but victory over yourself, that makes you free. You could win every argument, dominate every arena, outsmart every competitor, but if you haven't mastered your own impulses, fears, and ego, then you haven't truly won anything. That's what Buddha is showing us here. The greatest enemy you will ever face is the one that lives within you. Let me share a story that brings this to life. There's an old tale of a warrior who had never been defeated in battle. Kings feared him. Armies fell before him. But behind closed doors, he was ruled by anger. A single insult could throw him into a rage. One evening, a monk crossed his path and offered him a flower with a bow. The warrior laughed, called him weak, and demanded respect. But the monk simply smiled and said, "You've won 1,000 battles, but lost the war with your own mind." And in that moment, the warrior realized all his victories were hollow, because he was still a slave to himself. Now let's take this into real life. Think about how often we try to control others, control situations, control outcomes, but we can't even control our reactions. We scroll endlessly, procrastinate for hours, explode in traffic, hold on to grudges, make excuses, indulge habits we promised we'd break. And we call that freedom? Real strength is quiet. It's when you want to lash out, but you stay calm. When you want to quit, but keep going. When you want to escape, but sit with your discomfort and face it. Let me give you 5 practical tips you can use to start conquering yourself today. Train your mind like a muscle. Discipline isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. Set one small, uncomfortable task every day and complete it. It could be a cold shower, a workout, or waking up 30 minutes earlier. Each time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you are in charge. Not your mood, not your cravings. Learn to pause before reacting. In a world that triggers us constantly, the pause is your superpower. When you feel anger rising or fear or impulse, take one deep breath, then choose your response. Mastery isn't never feeling emotion, it's knowing what to do with it. Sit with discomfort instead of escaping it. Most of our self-sabotage comes from running away, into food, screens, distractions. Next time you feel that urge, don't run. Just sit with it. Breathe through it, and you'll realize the feeling isn't fatal. It passes and you remain. Make your word law. If you say you'll do something, do it, not for the result but for your integrity. Self-mastery begins with self-trust, and trust is built by keeping promises, especially the ones you make to yourself. Watch your inner dialogue. The voice in your head can either lead you or limit you. When it says, "I can't," answer with, "I'm still learning." When it says, "I'll fail," answer with, "I'll grow." You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be in command. Because in the end, you could conquer cities, crush goals, earn fame and fortune. But if you haven't learned to control your thoughts, your reactions, your ego, then the war isn't over. True victory isn't out there, it's in here. And the one who conquers himself needs no crown. In this episode of Conrad Warriors, we explore why Buddha treated truth like a sword. sharp, fearless, and liberating. He didn't sugarcoat reality. He taught that speaking the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, is the path to real freedom. We break down how truthful speech builds inner strength, clears karmic debt, and creates unshakable integrity. You'll learn how to speak with power, not aggression, and how living honestly turns you into a warrior of light in a world full of illusion. Truth isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.